Hey guys, we're on week 6, empowering self-talk. All about your mindset, about how you speak to yourself about certain events, how you allow yourself to be with yourself, and how you speak to yourself about things that you've did in life. So yeah, it's all about your mindset. I have attached a mindset tools document. It's a Word document there as well. So have a little look at that and see what you think. Start to do some of the little exercises. They're great. And change the way you talk to yourself. So for instance, we have like a little mini me up here, like a spoilt toddler. So we're there and we're just saying, oh my God, like throwing a tantrum because we don't get what we want. Does this resonate with anybody? We throw tantrums when we don't get what we want. So we act like little spoiled brats. But we throw the tantrum. What are we really looking for when we throw the tantrum? Attention. And when we don't get the attention that we look for, what do? We shout louder because no one is listening to us. But how about if you acknowledged the toddler and said, it's okay, I hear you, but I'm not going to react that way, because it's not going to be very, very productive. So how about we do this? Instead of rah, 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 back to someone that is making a bit of an effort to do what we want them to do, but they're just not doing it as we wish they would. Another way is all about like having a rip-roaring fight with yourself. So for instance, say, we put it to food. Say we have this idea that we want to lose weight, and like if you want to lose weight, you shouldn't eat the wrong foods. Yeah. So when we eat the wrong foods, we eat and we beat ourselves up inside because we've ate the wrong foods. So can you imagine like being like a fly on the wall and looking in at the situation and looking at yourself, like saying, why did I eat that? Why did I eat that bar of chocolate? Like, or like, what good was that going to do for me? And have like a row with yourself to go like, well, why are you giving out to yourself? Like, you did it, so don't be so silly. La, 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 la. So these are things that you have. So like picture yourself standing right in front of you, so whiny with a silly voice, and your old beliefs of what you noticed and what you know you are limiting yourself to. And switch positions, stand facing where you just were. Look back at yourself and see how silly the old beliefs no longer fit what you were saying, and how it diminishes you in the past. And now everything you've got, yell at your old self, and how that just can't be true, and you no longer accept it as the truth. Notice the energy and the emotional shift that you see. The old beliefs, and feel the weight lifted off your shoulders as you choose to believe something different. How about that? That would be just amazing, wouldn't it? The same as the toddler. Like, when you throw the tantrum, what is it that you're really looking for? You're looking for attention. So what happens if you don't give a toddler the attention is they scream louder, don't they? And the negative belief, or an old one that you know is no longer serving you, and it's whinging again and again and again, and you're ignoring it, and it's only getting louder and louder. So how do you do this? It's simple. You notice it, you acknowledge it, you thank it, and you tell it to go away. Feel free to picture it as a naughty toddler if you wish. Then choose to replace the old negative thoughts, patterns, with a new positive one on the spot, right in that moment, of equal and greater emotional weight. It's got to have an emotional kick for you to feel good, for it to stick. So make it powerful. And remember, your brain is like a highway. It's the old thought patterns created thick and well-traveled routes between the neutral networks. And the old connections now need to be broken and replaced with new ones. So, you know what you're going to say next. Do this for any belief that you are holding that is no longer serving you. Anything that you want to get rid of, and watch the amazing results. And if you hear a voice within you saying, you're not a painter, then by all means paint. And that voice will be silenced. And that's a Vincent van Gogh little phrase. So guys, that is all about self-talk. And here's the secret. It's all about choice. How you choose to speak to yourself. So for instance, here's an example. Were you ever trying to park your car? And you know you're well capable of parking your car, but someone is looking at you parking your car this time. And you're like, oh my God, someone's looking at me. What am I going to do? How am I going to do this? What if I make a balls of this? How am I going to get out of the car without being so embarrassed? Instead of saying, I'm well capable of doing this, I'm always able to park my car and not pay any attention to the outer source. So don't speak to yourself like you wouldn't speak to your friend. Always remember that. And if you find yourself talking negative to yourself a lot of the time, thinking of the worst out of habit, or saying things to yourself that are no longer serving you, then you can choose to change it. Because it's all down to choice. And now that you've gained some insight into your self-talk, you can choose which thoughts you listen to and which ones you don't. You can choose to silence the inner critic. You can choose the inner voice of doom or negativity or procrastination, or choose consciously to change what's going on in your head. The mini-me is your unconscious mind protecting you and keeping you safe. To our ancient brains, safe equals staying in the one spot and not moving. Mini-me, the stuff you tell yourself to stay stuck. To move forward, you need to silence that mini-me. Because there's always going to be doubt in your mind on this shoulder. And this shoulder is going to say, move forward, you know you want to. And this one's going to say, no, but what if it doesn't work? You're going to spend money on something you don't know is going to work. And this one's going, oh yeah, but I really know I want to do it. But this one is shouting louder. Who do you listen to? This one. Whereas you should, so always listen to this one. Always have the positive thought frame in your mind to say, I can do this. I'm well capable. Everyone else can do it. So can I. And if someone else has did it, why can't I do it? Have belief within yourself that you can achieve anything in life that you want. Anything. And it's down to choice. So the first step is having the awareness of your self-talk. The second step is noticing when it's not helping you and when it's holding you back. And when you notice that part that you're holding you back, then the third step is replacing it with limiting self-talk, something far more powerful. And it's really important not to beat yourself up if you notice that you have more negative self-talk than you realized, because your awareness will be heightened in the next few weeks and you will hear yourself say things much more easily. You will hear the negative things. You won't pay any attention to the positive things. but it's all about creating the awareness and maybe realizing how they have held you back. But remember, don't beat yourself up. These thoughts have served you a purpose at some time. And their intention was to keep you safe, which is a good thing. But simply notice them and ask yourself, do I need this anymore? Or is it something else I could say to myself that would be much more empowering? If you can notice that there's something you're saying to yourself that's not very empowering and you would like to replace it with another thought, there are a couple of fun things that you could do for yourself, like I mentioned earlier, the toddler and the little row with yourself. Have a look, have a laugh, have a joke with yourself, and just notice that you can change anything. And so you know that we're going to move forward with the next session of what do you want. So have a little think about what it is that you want. And we will move forward next week with that session, which is halfway through the program, by the way, guys. We're on week 6 now. Happy days. We're really going so well. And I want to really, really let you know how well you're doing. And don't be afraid to comment below if you need some help with anything. I'm here. Please interact. And we'll have a chat next week. See you again.